Hi. Woo. And when I planted my garlic, oh God, and went to put my hand on something to pull it out, and then I, in absolute horror, realised what it was. Hi, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren. If you're new around here, it's great to have you. So I've popped down to the allotment today to get a few jobs done. It's really drizzly and overcast here, but I thought, do you know what? There's jobs that need to be done, so I'm just going to have to put my waterproof coat on and my wellies and get them done. So you might catch a picture behind me here. There's a lot of weeds down at the allotment plot again. I haven't weeded for about 2 or 3 weeks now. And yeah, they've all just came back again. So I'm going to have about half hour of just weeding the beds, and then I've got the good jobs to do. So I've got my onions, my seedlings and my Swede seedlings, and I'm just going to whack them in the ground. So I recorded a clip earlier in the week, which I'm going to insert in a second for you. But basically my onion seedlings aren't doing too well. So some of them I've brought down to the allotment plot today to chuck in the ground and see how they get on. So yeah, let's get this weeded whilst I show you this clip, and then I'll catch you back here when I pop these in the ground. Hey, so I'm in my kitchen at home at the moment, desperately attempting to save my onions. Now I've never grown onions before. Spring onions, yes, but your sort of bulb onions, are they bulb onions? Yeah, round onions. Never before. So I'm going to use a little bit of common sense combined with a bit of research off the internet to see what I can do to save them. So the problem that we have is they're just a bit droopy. They look a bit neglected. I won't lie, I planted the seeds a few weeks ago and I've just left them ever since. I've not done anything with them. I've not potted them on. I think the amount of seedlings that are in each tray is just quite intimidating, so it's put me off potting them on, and now I'm left with this mess. So some of them I'm going to take down to the allotment, get straight in the ground. The weather has been fairly stable here. We have had some wind and we've had quite a bit of rain, but we haven't had any frosts as such. It's got a little chilly overnight and it's not been particularly hot in the day, but it's remained fairly stable. So some of them I'm just going to chuck in the ground and see how I got on. You know, it's my first year of allotment gardening. I need to learn, even if it is the hard way with some stuff. So I'm going to just do trial and error. So yeah, I'm going to grab some of these pots, fill it with compost. I'll put about 3 or 4 onions into each of these just for a week or two, until the weather, I'm certain it's okay and the last frost is passed, and then I'll put them outside. And as I say, the others I'm just going to chuck them straight out in the allotment and see how they fare. So these are my silver skin onions. So they're the sort of small white or translucent, really, onions that I intend to pickle once they're grown, if we get that far. And these are my red baron onions. So these are your bigger size sort of standard onion, and they're red. And then I do also have spring onions. Now the bottom of these, the roots are coming through these pots. These are the coir pots, but yeah, they again are just looking a little bit droopy, so I need to do something with them. But again, I might just plant these straight outside because they're in these pots, but I'm going to see how I get on, and I will update you when I've decided what it is that I'm going to actually do. Okay, so I've done quite a bit of weeding. I've got, oh, see in there, almost a whole bag for life of weeds. So now I'm going to crack on with planting my onions. So it's going to take a little while, I think. I'm going to separate them, make some sort of little trenches in my raised bed, and then get planting them basically, and hope for the best. The spring onion, I think I'm going to sort of plant them in the clumps that they're in, sort of 3 or 4 spring onions in a little clump, because they should be fine like that. yeah, so it's just a case of cracking on, really, getting the job done. So I'll take you over and show you where I'm going to plant the onions. It's really important that I plant these in a straight line because of the weeds that I've got on this plot. They're sort of like long grasses, they basically look like. When I planted my garlic, I really struggled to tell the difference between what was a weed and what was sort of a young garlic plant, basically. So yeah, it's really important that I keep them in straight lines, and that'll just help me to weed around the new growth. So yeah, let's crack on with that. And it's just starting to rain now that I'm about to crack on with this job, which is just typical, isn't it? So yeah, these beds are mostly free of weeds. I mean, I could sit here for days and weed this allotment plot, and I don't think it would still be done. So for today, I'm just going to grab my dibber. Got my tray of onion seedlings. I definitely have seen better days, and I'm just going to plant them in rows. Basically, separate them out. Try to keep the root as intact as possible, and yeah, crack on with this job. Okay, so that's my silver skin onions. The majority of them are in. The rain's really starting to come down at the moment, so I'm hoping that stopped shortly because it's not pleasant. I did have to sort of crouch into my bed, which I know isn't ideal, but I'm really struggling with a knee injury at the moment since my marathon, so it was the best I could make out of that situation. I've still got my spring onions to get in the ground. I've got a couple of the onions that I potted into the pots. I'm going to keep those. I'm going to take them back home. I've got my red barren onions that I need to get out. They're actually quite a bit bigger, which is understandable because those onions are bigger onions once they're grown. But yeah, so I need to get my spring onions in, and I need to get my swede in as well, really, because my swede are turning quite yellow on their leaves. But possibly not going to be a job for today because the rain is, as I say, really coming down. But I'm going to chuck my spring onions into the ground somewhere. I think I might do a salad bed in this bed over here. So I might go and chuck those in the ground now. Then I'll come back and do my red barren onions. Oh, when is this weather gonna give over and just be a beautiful spring like we all want? Goodness knows. But yeah, so that was getting my onions out on the allotment plot today, and an awful lot of weeding. I knew I'd need to weed, but the path in between mine and my neighbour's plot really needs weeding. hard going to keep doing all this weeding, but we will keep on top of it. And whilst I was weeding today, I thought I'm going to set myself a task. So each time I come to the allotment, I'm just going to weed for 10 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer each time I come. First job, 10-minute of weeding. That's it. And obviously the more regularly I start coming when the weather starts getting nicer and I want to come almost every single day, that'll soon add up, and I'll soon keep on top of the weeds, but I just don't want them to be really overwhelming. I was weeding up the top part of this bed and went to put my hand on something to pull it out, and then I, in absolute horror, realised what it was. It was my potato plant and I almost weeded it. But yeah, the potatoes are coming up, which is great. So that's really exciting. That was good to see today. But yeah, so onions are in the ground. Really need to get that polytunnel frame down. Will I ever stop saying it? But I just need a hand to take it down. So that'll hopefully be done in the next week. I'm going to set myself a deadline that it has to be done by next week. But yeah, and then hopefully we'll start seeing some sunshine, stop having to wear my waterproofs just to come down here, and yeah, start seeing some things growing, basically. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Wasn't the happiest or jolliest of allotment visits, I don't think. It felt a bit more of a chore today because I just knew I had to come down. I knew I had jobs to do. It wasn't like the sun was shining and I thought, oh, do you know what, I can't wait to get down the allotment. It was more of a, oh, I've got to go down and get those jobs done today. But not all days will be like that, and sometimes you just have to suck it up and get those things done. And I feel good for having had it done. Like those things aren't weighing on my mind now to get my onions in or anything like that. Swede will be done hopefully in the next few days. If the weather clears up a bit, then I'll pop back and get those in. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed today's video regardless. Hope it was a bit of reality for you, in the fact that it's not all sunshine and rainbows every time you come down the allotment. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed, and please do like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, bye bye.